So let's move on to the next category, and that would be live foodists. Now, a live foodist would be from the Dr. Ann Wigmore camp, the Viktoras Kulvinskas camp. They really started the whole movement of live food 20, 30 years ago, I suppose. And they started by fermenting foods, which they didn't invent, of course. Some of the longest-lived societies in the world have been fermenting foods like yogurts and veggie krauts, and so it's not a new thing, but they brought it into prominence in the modern world. They also started promoting sprouts, which I believe Dr. Ann Wigmore did come up with on her own. I haven't read anything about sprouting before she came along, and so we can thank her for having alfalfa sprouts in every grocery store practically in the world now. And one of the things that we teach in our first class in Fundamentals of Raw Living Foods is how to sprout and how to culture foods, because according to Dr. Ann Wigmore and to Viktoras Kulvinskas, the bacteria that are cultured in these foods really help our digestion and help us to achieve optimal health. And so that's what probiotics are. For those of you who take probiotics to help with digestion, the probiotics are what occur naturally in the fermented foods, like veggie kraut and Rejuvilac, and the cheeses that live foodists make, and we teach students how to make at our school. So these cultured foods contain acidophilus and other probiotics. And another thing that live foodists do include and encourage people to eat are sea vegetables, because of the wonderful abundance of minerals that are in sea vegetables. And here on the Mendocino coast, we have an abundance of sea vegetables, and I don't know, something like over 100, I believe, different kinds of sea vegetables. And all of them, except for one, are edible. And that one is so small and rare that you wouldn't, you don't even really have to worry about it. So feel free to go out and graze on the beautiful sea vegetables that we have here on our coast. But don't go out on the rocks and pull them off of the rocks, because that is illegal. And you do need a license to harvest sea vegetables. You have to know how to do it sustainably so that everyone forevermore will always enjoy the sea vegetables here on our coast. So with live foodists, getting back to that, some of the other things that they do is they drink wheatgrass juice, another invention of Dr. Ann Wigmore. It's a very potent drink, and we do sell it in our cafe. If you've never tried it before, maybe you want to share your first shot with a friend. Because it is really powerful. It does take a little getting used to. Some people love it right from the start, but it's also very detoxifying. And so you wouldn't want to just drink a double shot of it right from the beginning and start drinking that on a regular basis until your body has done some detoxification. And then, it's no problem at all, and it's really a great detoxifier and a great way to start your morning. I do it every day. Another thing that I do every day is I take blue-green algae, E3 Live, and we have E3 Live is one of our sponsors here, and they'll be giving shots of E3 Live away all weekend long, so you can have an opportunity to try that. Young greens like sunflower and buckwheat greens and other kinds of sprouts are enjoyed in abundance in the live food diet, because the live fooders believe that the more vibrant life a plant contains when you take it in, the more life it provides. And indeed, they do cite studies done with using Kirlian photography to show the life force around the plants and the life force around you after you consume them. So there is some scientific evidence to support the live food diet. One of the other things that they allow in the live food diet are foods dehydrated at low temperature and eaten on occasion. So it wouldn't be something that you would want to include in your diet as a mainstay, because you're taking out a lot of the wonderful waters that are filled with electric electron. What's the word I'm thinking of? Electrolytes. Thank you. And by removing all of the water from your vegetables, sometimes you don't put the right waters back in to your body, and you actually become dehydrated, which is bad for your health. So a limited amount of dehydrated foods, dehydrated at low temperatures, so that the enzymatic action is maintained in the food and the integrity of the food is maintained. But attention to good food combining is also recommended. And good digestion and high vitality is a key concern of live foodists. Now, raw food enthusiasts, also call themselves raw fooders or raw foodists, eat more of a variety of raw fruits and vegetables and other kinds of culinary artistic creations using raw plant-based foods than any of the others that I've spoken about. So there's more of an emphasis on flavor and texture and appearance, which is what we teach a lot of at our school, flavor, texture, and appearance. And so that we can prepare foods that mimic the flavor, texture, and appearance of cooked foods. And that's a really great place to start. And you'll find in our cafe, that's really what we're about in our cafe. Even though we do serve some very simple foods, we also serve some really over-the-top gourmet foods, because we find that when people realize that they can still eat like that, that they think, well, I can do this, and it's a really great place to start. And when you've been eating that way for a while and you're feeling comforted and nurtured, then you can start to simplify, and your body will naturally do that. We say it happens organically. It just happens naturally for you to start simplifying your diet, especially when you realize that there's no rules that say you have to. The main thing is that you want to eat organic whenever possible. You want to eat ripe fruits and vegetables, and with high water content as much as possible. If you're going to eat some dehydrated foods, then limit it. Don't eat all dehydrated foods. But the raw food enthusiasts definitely allow more flexibility than any of the others. Even though it can be anywhere from simple to gourmet, they do allow for the gourmet to exist in their diet as well. Now, do some people cross the boundaries? Of course they do. Of course they do. It all depends on how we're feeling at that moment. And that's one of the things that I recommend to all of you, is don't get too caught up in dogma. Learn to listen to your bodies. It's so important for us to know our bodies and what our needs are. However, I also know that in the beginning, it's difficult to decide what voice is speaking to you, the voice of addiction or the voice of your intelligent body saying, I need this. And that's where you really have to pay attention. If your body tells you you want something and you eat it and then you don't feel good, then that might have been the voice of addiction or the voice of habit. Maybe addiction is too strong of a word in some cases. So you just need to pay attention to how does your body feel after you've eaten something. And not just immediately after. It could even be as late as the next day. You may wake up feeling more drowsy. You may wake up feeling stuffy or having, like those little sleep things in the middle of in your eyes. You might be all kind of stuffy. So, or you might need more sleep, or you might not sleep well. Perhaps you wake up in the middle of the night hot and can't get back to sleep again because you have all this digestive fire going on because you ate something too rich, too close to before you retired at night. So just start paying attention to how your body speaks to you, and it will tell you if something is good for you or not. If you're feeling really fantastic all day long, and then when you finally do go to bed at night, you hit the bed and you fall asleep within 5 minutes, and you wake up feeling really great in the morning, well, you're doing something right. And if not, ask yourself why not. And sometimes it helps to journal, to start to write down what it is that you ate after you didn't feel so good, or even better, what you ate when you felt really great. So both ways can work for you.